Good morning, everyone. My name is Stefan Svo, Clerk for the County of Lambton. I'll be chairing the first piece of this meeting today. First order of business is to call this meeting in order, and then, of course, to observe a moment of silent reflection. Thank you, everyone. I will now take the roll call. Councillor Arnold.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Bernard.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Bushi.
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Bradley. I see you on the screen.
Here's Stefan, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Broad.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Cook.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Ferguson.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Hand.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Loosely.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Marriott.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Miller.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Napper.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Rombouts.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Stark.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Bean.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Weber.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor White.
Present.
Thank you. We're all here. So once again, good morning. And of course, welcome to all of you. And of course, county staff who are following us on YouTube, members of the media following us on YouTube, members of the public following us on YouTube, and of course, Mr. Nick Mansour, who is an honorary member of this council since March 4th of earlier this year. He too is following us on YouTube. Again, my name is Stefan Svo, Clerk of the County of Lambton. We have a busy agenda today. Two items of note: one, elections, and then secondly, County Council will engage in a number of meetings. In terms of its elections, of course, County Council will be electing its 159th warden, and will be electing today its deputy warden. In terms of the business items, County Council will be meeting for sub-meetings, if I can put it that way. One, you will be meeting in your sub-municipal groups. The purpose of that is to nominate your members to the striking committee. Once so nominated, your striking committee will meet to make the appointments to the various committees and boards that it must appoint. Then members of committee AM will meet, and then follow that meeting by members of the committee PM meeting. Now, as we move forward with our agenda, a few things you should note. Once again, we are broadcasting live to our YouTube channel. Two, as I mentioned earlier, there'll be a number of sub-meetings today. This main page will always be available. If you are participating in a sub-meeting of any one of the municipal subgroups, striking committee, committee AM, or committee PM, there's nothing that needs to be done at your end. The meeting host, Ms. Melissa Donovan, will automatically transfer you to that meeting. And if you're not participating in that meeting, you will remain on this page. Nothing, again, needs to be done at your end. Once your sub-meeting concludes, nothing needs to be done at your end either. You will be automatically transferred back into this main meeting. I say all of this so that you do not press the leave meeting button at any point in time during this meeting. And if you accidentally do so, the best way to get back into the meeting is to go through the link that you would have gone through to get into the meeting this morning. And lastly, but also very importantly, mics are live. Video stream, audio stream is live to YouTube. Treat your mics as live at all times. So enough with the warnings, enough with those instructions. Let's proceed with the first order of business, which is the election of your 159th warden. I have the pleasure to be sitting across from Councillor Napper, who's agreed to be council scrutineer today. Councillor Napper, for members of the public, is the mayor of Plimpton of Wyoming. Thank you very much, Councillor Napper, for agreeing to be the scrutineer. The candidates for warden are in this building as well today, spread out in various meeting rooms. Of course, after you've elected your warden, a number of things will take place. One, I will ask you to pass a resolution appointing your warden-elect. Two, the warden-elect will receive the chain of office. And then thirdly, all on the screen, the warden-elect will take the oath of office. Following the oath of office, we will proceed with the election of your deputy warden. Following the deputy warden's election, we will have the warden-elect provide a speech. And following that, we will get into the meeting portion of today's meeting. So that all being said, let's proceed with the election of the warden. As I understand it, there are 3 candidates who have presented themselves for the position of warden. They are Councillor Marriott, Councillor Weaver, and Councillor White. Are there any other council members who wish to present themselves for the position of warden at this time? Not seeing, not hearing any, I will close the nominations and proceed. That being said, each one of these 3 candidates will be provided an opportunity to provide a brief, up to 3-minute speech. We will do so in the following order, which has already been discussed with each candidate. We will start with Councillor Marriott, then follow it with Councillor Weaver, followed then by Councillor White. So that being said, I will invite Councillor Marriott to provide his speech. Councillor Marriott, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thibault. Good morning, fellow Lambton County councillors, staff, and guests. 2020 will be remembered and reflected upon for a long time, with the lifestyle changes the pandemic has brought to our lives. Some of these changes that have happened most certainly will be the new normal for quite some time. However, the biggest changes and challenges are yet to come, because the federal and provincial governments have increased the debt by more than $475 billion in 1 year. I fear that both the upper and lower tiers of Lambton may feel much pressure from cutbacks, probably even worse than those of the 1990s, when it was also top-down austerity. Anyone who was on municipal council then can attest to the pain we went through with those downloads. This could be like a 1-2 punch for Lambton over the next few years because 1, we are facing very large infrastructure investments of our long-term care homes due to provincial standards of when they need to be replaced. 2, we need additional affordable housing. 3, the need to start building reserve to purchase the shared services building in 10 years. And 4, continuing to add to our asset management plan with each budget. They say there is always a silver lining to major events like this, and I believe that one of those has happened. This is the demand for properties and housing in Lambton County, whereby people are wanting to escape the high cost of living elsewhere in Ontario. Lambton County has everything from affordable residential homes to beautiful waterfront homes and peaceful country living nestled in some of the most productive farmland in Ontario. We join many other regions of Ontario as a great alternative to the GTA, as it is no longer fashionable or feasible to be stuck in a 500 square foot condo surrounded by concrete and pavement. Although not ideal for young people trying to buy their first home, this demand has raised the value of properties and eventually the tax base for Lambton County. The increase in need for services with this demand of new homes, overall net growth will be beneficial in the long term for Lambton County. More than ever, Lambton County Council will have to work together to meet these challenges. But I know we can do this if we put aside politics of our individual municipalities and look for what is the greater good of all of Lambton. If I'm elected warden, I will work to bring all of council closer together, to work as a team, and encourage all councillors to contribute with your own individual strengths in whatever way you can. That you have my word on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marriott. Now we move on to Councillor Weaver.
Morning, members of council. We're at the midpoint of our elected term. I think it is fair to say that this past year has been interesting, and we continue to deal with so many unknowns at this time. I'm asking for your support today to continue our pandemic response that has kept our public safe and informed. This declared emergency is far from over, and I believe continuity will be helpful as we move towards recovery. I believe in this county, and I'd like an opportunity to continue promoting Lambton County's many assets, our caring people, and our many strengths as your warden. I will continue to work with each of you to promote fairness in decisions that are made for the greater good of Lambton. Going forward, we have a number of challenges. We are going to be challenged to deal with the financial impacts of COVID, and we'll need to adjust to proposed provincial changes regarding EMS and Lambton Public Health Service delivery. Together, we'll continue developing many ways to protect, care, and support for those most vulnerable in our communities. I am pleased to see all of us cooperating in developing our safety and well-being plan. We must support the work of SLEP, TSL, our research park, and with the new Memorandum of Understanding, Lambton College, to help drive economic development and grow our population base in an inclusive and welcoming way. We must continue to develop and implement plans so all Lambton is serviced by reliable broadband internet. All of this at a time when many countywide capital needs are on the horizon and in need of support. Our shared services rebuild has started and will be a positive move for our residents. Our shortage of social housing needs to be addressed. Redevelopment of Lambton Meadowview Villa and future requirements for a growing aging population. The list of infrastructure needs is long and needs to be carefully planned for and addressed. No one issue is of greater importance than any other. We have caring, dedicated staff that work very well together. It has been repeated many times. We are in this together. I have the support of my family and the time available to dedicate to this position. Today, I ask for your continued support to work together to keep building a strong Lambton County. I would be honored to continue as warden. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Weber. We are now moved to Councillor White. Councillor White, the screen's yours.
Thank you, Mr. Tifo. Members of County Council, I thank you for this time today, and thank you to staff for assisting us to ensure we have a fair and equitable process in such difficult times. Thank you to the outgoing warden and deputy warden for their generous gifts of leadership over the past few years. And thank you to each and every one of you for the phone calls this past weekend. Some were quite long and deep, and I honestly believe that no matter the outcome today, we are in good hands. Fellow mayors and councillors, we all know that today we are facing the most unique and challenging reality we'll likely and hopefully ever know in our lifetimes, at least as long as we are serving in public office. The impending reality that will be bestowed upon us by the provincial and federal governments as they grapple with the outfall of this pandemic will be felt deeply at our table. This period of uncertainty will undoubtedly require us to draw upon each and every one of our strengths, our unique perspectives and abilities as we collectively assess who we are and where we stand in this new reality. Our targets will be moving, and each one of us will need to be laser focused on the unique needs and challenges that we face in our own communities. While it will be a stressful time, we must also be mindful that this period of change can also bring opportunity. We must never lose focus of that, lest we miss our chance to be out front of solutions and any prospective opportunity that can poise us to achieve first stability and then ultimately prosperity. We must be mindful at all times of those struggling and do whatever we can to ensure we're lifting them up. This will be a particular focus of mine, no matter what today's outcome is. My pledge to you is this: my door isn't just open. With your lead, I will be reaching out to each and every single one of you to ensure that your unique vision is included in our recipe for success. My hope is that you will agree to make regular one-on-one coffee time or phone calls as we are able to ensure I understand your unique strengths and your view from your streets. We must now more than ever come together in unity. If I can help facilitate greater communication between each other, between our staff departments, then I will do what it takes to accommodate that. I will be at your fundraisers and your celebratory events. I will be using this platform as warden to better engage our young people in local issues and to assist newcomers in finding prosperous opportunities. And when it comes to meeting with higher levels of government, you will certainly be my guide for meetings that affect your specific communities. My experience with policy and government meetings is deep, but I'll want your experience and truths to guide us. The time is upon us to refresh and refocus. In this time of disruption, it takes a commitment to connection and to communication. It takes compassion and understanding. And in these trying times, we need each other more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor White. That wraps up the speeches for council at this point in time. And now I wish to move forward with the ballots. Before doing so, sorry, that was your time there. Sorry. Before I do so, I do wish to talk to the election rules and then secondly, speak to the balloting. In terms of the election rules, each council member has one vote. To be successfully elected to the position of warden, that candidate needs to secure a majority of votes. That is 9 out of the 17 votes. We have 3 candidates. If there is no majority secured on the first ballot, we will proceed to a second ballot, eliminating the candidate that secured the least amount of votes. Should it happen that there is a tie between candidates with the least amount of votes, we will have then a runoff vote between those 2 candidates to see who joins the lead runner in the next ballot. So that being said, let's speak about the ballots. Soon, Ms. Donovan will present a ballot for you. To vote for your preferred candidate, click on the button next to the name of your preferred candidate and click submit. So click on the button next to your preferred candidate and then click submit. Your vote will then come into the system anonymously. It will be viewed here in the aggregate and we will assess it, review it, and then move forward. Again, your vote is completely confidential. Nobody will know how any member of council voted. Does council have any questions for me at this point in time? The ballot will be released momentarily. Before you vote, I will ask first to confirm that you each have a ballot. So, where was the ballot? Does everyone have a ballot in front of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody not have a ballot? All right, go ahead and vote. Just again, as a reminder, you need to click submit. So, Councillor Boucher, did you click submit?
Yes.
Did everybody click submit?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Council, we will announce the results shortly. Our scrutineer needed a brief break, so we'll be right back at you in a couple minutes.
Nothing like adding to the drama.
He's our ambassador for a reason, isn't he?
you. Council? Napper, scrutineer. The results are in. You have elected your 159th warden. I invite you to congratulate Councillor Marriott. And you wish to say something?
Yes, I'd just like to break in here and say, following the old tradition, we've lost a lot of it, but we did maintain some of the traditions. Cheers to everybody and congratulations. The election was done fairly and there'll be no results.
Cheers.
Good stuff. So that gets us into the next piece. So again, congratulations, Councillor Marriott. For Council's information, I will proceed with the next three items, one of which is to take a motion resolution from Council appointing your warden-elect. Secondly, there'll be a short presentation of the office of, or the chain of office, and then we'll have the oath taken on the screen. Any question from Council at this point in time?
I would move that Councillor Marriott be appointed warden for the 2021-2022 term.
Thank you. Is there a seconder?
I so move. Second.
Councillor Boucher. So it's moved that warden-elect Councillor Marriott be appointed warden for the 2021-2022 term. Moved by Weber, Councillor Weber, seconded by Councillor Boucher. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Thank you very much. And so now we'll take a couple minutes again on this screen so that we can see Councillor or warden-elect Marriott attend to committee room number 5 to receive the chain of office. And following that, Councillor Marriott will go back to his office to take the oath. We will be back shortly. All right.
We're good now.
Are we quiet here? Nope. Thank you. So we on? Right, gentlemen, congratulations. Congratulations, Councillor Warden-elect Marriott.
Thank you very much.
How do we do this?
Do it again. Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Key to the warden's office.
Thank you very much. Job
Congratulations.
well done.
You will do a fine job for Lambton County.
Thank you. I'll
It's
try.
been a pleasure. My door is open. Any discussion?
That would be great.
All the best.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Congratulations again, guys, and thank you very much as well. All right, we'll get you back to your office and then we'll go for the oath.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you again for your patience, council. We'll now move forward with the oath. Warden-elect Marriott, please repeat after me. I, your name,
I, Kevin Marriott,
having been elected to the office of Warden in the County of Lambton, do solemnly promise and declare that
having been elected to the office of Warden in the County of Lambton, do solemnly promise and declare that
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability,
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner.
I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Thank you very much, Councillor-elect Marriott. You're now County Council's Warden. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Council, and for the members of the public who are following us on YouTube, we're now at item number 9 of our detailed agenda, and we will proceed with the election of your deputy warden. At this time, I have 3 candidates who have declared their interest for the position of deputy warden. That is Councillor Hand, Councillor Rombaus, and Councillor Stark. Is there any other council member who wishes to be considered for the position of deputy warden? Seeing no one, nominations are now closed. Again, the 3 candidates are asked to provide a brief speech up to 2 minutes each, and we will now start those speeches, starting with Councillor Hand.
Not a good start. I have to unmute. Good morning to my fellow councillors, county staff, and the residents of Lambton County. I put my name forward for the deputy warden position because I believe this is a good opportunity for me to continue to broaden my knowledge and understanding of the municipalities that come together in Lambton, not just my own community and my larger neighbor, Sarnia. At the county level and at the municipal level, this year was very difficult to navigate, as we all know, but we drew strength by working together as part of a larger team so that no community had to feel they were on their own. We were all in it and are all in it together. It's been beneficial and less stressful to be able to rely on the collective to help us through these uncomfortable and unfamiliar times brought by the pandemic. And as we move into 2021, it is still going to be a difficult period. It is comforting to be able to listen to all of the inputs of members and come to decisions based on greater knowledge than working alone to help all of the residents of the county and our own municipalities. I feel like I've learned a lot in the last 4 years since I joined the county system, and I continue to learn from attending the council meetings, the committee meetings, and activities such as the farm tour and the project tour. And I look forward to continuing to learn. There are many different economies and communities within our county, and I can continue to learn from these partners and appreciate the differences that make it challenging and interesting. We are still in this battle, and next year will continue to be challenging. We all know that. we can continue to support each other to navigate through the continuing trials. I would be honored to be Deputy Warden over the next term and appreciate your support to allow me to be that person. I commit to doing my best in that role and to support Warden Kevin and all the members of the team and staff. Since we won't see each other in person, I wanted to take a minute to say, please enjoy the holidays and take some time to relax. Be with your families and be safe. We have all earned some downtime and a time to focus on family and friends and the good things in our lives. I also want to thank Melissa, Carly, Stefan, and the other staff members who worked on the technology to make this event possible through Zoom. So great job, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hand. We will now proceed with Councillor Ramos.
Good morning, County Council. It's my great honor to be able to address you all on why you should elect me as the next Deputy Warden of our beautiful County of Lambton. I have spent the last 6 years establishing excellent and productive working relationships and friendships with many of our federal and provincial partners. I believe those connections have helped me a great deal in successfully lobbying the government for real change in Ontario and will assist me in advocating for the needs of the County of Lambton going into the future. I have served as a strong advocate for rural communities and for the agricultural sector, and with the assistance of many of you and your councils, having passed Warwick Township's resolution, we were able to successfully petition the provincial government to establish Bill 156, the Security from Trespass and Protecting Food Safety Act, a bill that will protect Ontario's farm animals, the food supply, and farmers from dangerous activists. I was also an integral part of the team of mayors who successfully convinced the Ministry of Environment to allow municipalities the right to say when it comes to the establishment of landfills within their municipalities. I feel that my education in communication studies, my many years as a business owner, and my time as editor and reporter have equipped me with the skills that I will need to serve you and your communities as the Deputy Warden over the next 2 years. And I would like to thank you in advance for putting your trust in me. Chair?
Thank you, Councillor Ramos. We will now proceed with the third speech. Councillor Starks, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Tifo. Welcome to all who are watching. First, I wanted to thank all of my council colleagues for their time and their patience over the past 2 years as we got to know each other better. I wanted to share with you the 3 areas of interest and personal priorities, which explains why I'm seeking the role of Deputy Warden. First, I believe we are entering a very precarious time in our country's, province, and county's history. I believe the very recent announcement by our National Finance Minister as to the magnitude of our national deficit, some $400 billion, will have a direct impact on the province of Ontario and subsequently on our county as it relates to downstream funding. I believe we need to be extremely conscious of our short and midterm spending. I also believe that our county treasurer has recognized the environment that we are entering and has positioned us well to cope with the situations that will undoubtedly find their way to our desk for some difficult decisions. That then will require our county's political leadership to meet more often with provincial ministers to plead our case and put forward the arguments as to what makes Lambton County both unique and deserving of support from the provincial government. I believe my history of advocating for the city of Sarnia will effectively serve the county of Lambton, and I hope to help Kevin in any way he sees best to utilize my services. The second area that I would like to see Lambton County moving forward is the specific project that we currently refer to as Dementia House. This topic is of personal interest as my father-in-law suffered with the scourge of dementia for the last 7 years of his life. He left us 15 years ago, but not before and during the loss of speech, loss of mobility, and finally being confined to bed for the last 2 years of his life. One of his sources of joy and rays of hope was his participation in the day programming at Meadowview in Petrolia. He was able to meet new friends and participate in activities that allowed him a short reprieve from the darkness of his illness. At the same time, it allowed my mother-in-law a period of respite that she so desperately needed. I see Dementia House as the natural progression of this type of quality of care that should any of us find ourselves in a similar situation to my father-in-law, we would hope for that level of compassionate care. I hope to help Lambton County lead the way in developing this loving form of care. Finally, I want to see an increased level of communication to all of our lower tier municipalities. I believe the recent outreach by our warden, now past warden, and CAO towards the city of Sarnia was welcomed. I truly believe that an annual visit by our warden and CAO to all member municipalities would go a long way in answering questions about what the county is currently doing, what it will be doing, and how much value that they are providing to our member municipalities. The fact that we call ourselves a federation speaks volumes of what we can accomplish as a united front, with all members pulling on the rope of success in the same direction. I thank you for your attention, and I humbly ask for your support and your vote as your Deputy Warden. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stark, and thank you, Councillors Hand, Ramos, and Stark for those speeches. For the members of public following us on YouTube, we are now at agenda item number 10. For Council, I will explain the rules of the election for the position of Deputy Warden, and then again go through the balloting system and process. In terms of the rules for the election of Deputy Warden, they're a little bit more simplified than that of the Warden. The candidate who secures the most votes on the first ballot, there is no need for a majority, is elected Deputy Warden. Should it happen that 2 or more candidates secure an equal number of votes, i.e. the greatest number of votes, they will have a second ballot as a runoff between those tied candidates who have secured the greater number of votes. In terms of the ballot, it'll be the same as that you went through with the election of the warden. You will receive a ballot with the name of the candidates listed. Click on the button next to your preferred candidate and then click on submit. Your votes are entirely confidential and will be processed here in the aggregate. Once the ballots are closed, we will then collect them, take a look at the numbers, and report back to council on the results of the ballot. We'll release the ballot. Does any member of council not have a ballot in front of them? Seeing nothing, please go ahead and vote. Very much. Has any member of council not voted? I see 17 of the ballots here. We will take a few minutes to read those ballots and the results and report back to council. We will be right back.
I might need a drink of what Lonnie's drinking.
Anticipation must be just killing you.
You have to be careful,
You wanna
Jackie.
go?
Right after.
Let me know when we'll go. All right, we're back with the election results. We do have a councillor who has been elected to the position. And who was that? Who was that person again? No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Congratulations, Councillor Hand. All right, those elections being done, I wish to take the opportunity to thank Councillor Napper for acting as scrutineer this morning. Thank you, Councillor Napper. That was very much appreciated, and I'm sure your presence will help us avoid any kind of attack, legal or otherwise, on the election results. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. It's my pleasure. Once again, congratulations to all the successful candidates, and all the best for moving forward in 2021. I think it's going to be a great year at the county. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. And then next order of business, item number 12 on our agenda. I need a motion from council appointing Councillor Hand as your deputy warden. It is moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Stark, that Councillor Hand be appointed your deputy warden. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Thank you very much. So now that gets us into the next item on our agenda, item number 13, which is the warden's speech. And following that speech, we will briefly recess for a few minutes to prepare for the sub-meetings, and particularly your municipal meetings, and then of course the striking committee, and your committee AM and committee PM meetings. And I'll give the floor or the screen to your warden-elect, your warden Marriott. Screen is yours.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Tifo. Well, I would like to thank everyone for having the confidence and the faith in me to be warden for the next 2 years. I'm ready for the challenge, and I will not take the position lightly. As I mentioned before, I predict it will take a lot of skill for council and staff to meet the challenges over the next few years, but we will get through this. We have to. To Bill and Ginger, thank you for the last 4 years. Bill, you said you wanted to be an ambassador for Lambton, and you definitely have accomplished that. Your leadership during the last 9 months has been amazing. I think I heard you were planning on another motorcycle trip, only this time to the East Coast. Hopefully by the time you go, things will be back to somewhat close to what we were before COVID-19. We have so much to be thankful for here in Lambton. With hard work and ingenuity, we will keep it that way, even with the challenges that lie ahead. I've always tried to learn from my mistakes. I'm willing to listen to everyone, especially if there is some constructive criticism along the way. Thank you so much to staff for adapting to this new virtual world of Zoom meetings and making it work all year, and especially today. Who would have thought a year ago we would be voting from many different places throughout the county? Congratulations on a job well done. Look forward to working with you. Finally, I hope everyone enjoys the Christmas season as we figure out how to celebrate much differently than what we have in the past. All the best to council, staff, and the people of Lambton County. Thanks again. So, as Stefan indicated, we'll take a short recess to select the striking committee members. And I believe that he's going to explain how that works.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. As Warden Marriott mentioned, we'll take a short recess, likely 3 to 5 minutes. The purpose of that is to designate you and allocate you to your municipal subgroups. So the first sub-meeting that you will all participate in is in your subgroups, municipal subgroups, and the purpose of those meetings is to select your municipal subgroups representative to the striking committee. Melissa will automatically transfer you to your own subgroups, and you'll have 3 minutes or so. And at the end of that 3 minutes or so, you will be automatically brought back to this main screen. At that point in time, I will ask for each municipal subgroup to announce who their appointed or nominated member to the striking committee is, and then we'll proceed to the striking committee, and I'll explain what we will do then. So at this point in time, we'll recess for approximately 3 to 5 minutes as we arrange the system. And then just as a reminder, we're still streaming live to YouTube. Mics are live, but we'll be back in a few minutes.
Stefan,
Yes?
good morning. Can you have Bill
looking at item 16, committee reports, striking committee. Stefan, would you like to report on that, please?
Sounds good. So the subcommittees of the sub-municipal groups have met, and if I understand correctly, Group A, which is South, which consists of St. Clair, Donahue, and Brooke Alvinson. Your appointed striking committee rep is Councillor Ferguson. Group B, being Sarnia, your appointed striking committee rep is Councillor White. Group C, which consists of Petrolia, Enniskillen, Point Edward, and Hot Springs, your appointed striking committee member is Councillor Bean. And lastly, Group D, consisting of Atlantic Shores, Putnam, Wyoming, and Ward, your appointed striking committee rep is Warden Weaver. So in terms of the next step, the striking committee, which consists of those 4 individuals, Councillors Ferguson, White, Dean, and Weaver, will now meet in a sub-meeting of this group. The rest of you who are not participating in that meeting will stay on this page. The 4 striking committee members will meet in the striking committee in a subgroup. That meeting will be live streamed to YouTube, and we will enter that room as soon as Melissa can do so, and I believe she's ready to rock and roll. So we will go into the striking committee now and report back as soon as striking committee is done. Striking committee should be fairly short, 3 to 4 minutes. Its purpose really, in terms of this turnaround, is to select a member in addition to the warden to the TSL board, and then of course appoint 1 member from each municipal group to create a county committee, and then effectively we'll come back out. Okay. Oh yes, and as a just to remind you, do not leave the meeting. Don't press the leave meeting button. That's what Brad had a question. I think you're on mute.
On process, when the striking committee meets, if there's say 3 nominations for TSL, how does that work? Do they make the determination, or it comes back to the school group?
No, the striking committee is their terms of reference is to make that decision. Correct. It stays within the striking committee.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. We're ready to go. Yep. Good morning. I think those 2 shots are really doing it to me. But in any event, good morning, folks. We're here to briefly meet as your striking committee. Your first order of business is to appoint a chair and vice chair. So I will leave that to the group. Again, your first order of business is to appoint a chair and vice chair of the striking committee.
I'll appoint Warden Marriott as chair to nominate.
That's seconded by Councillor White. All in favor? That carries. So your chair is Councillor Marriott. I'm just taking notes here.
Warden Marriott.
Warden Marriott. Yes, sorry. I've got to get used to that. And now that Warden Marriott has been elected chair of the striking committee, I'll let you go through the agenda, which is to now nominate a vice chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thibault. So do we have a nomination for vice chair? Ian.
I will nominate Dave Ferguson.
Okay.
I second that.
Seconded by Brian. Dave, do you accept that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All in favor? It's carried. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I didn't have to get any swag bags out.
Nah.
Well, the snowstorm yesterday stopped the flower truck, so we heard Brooke Alvinson roads were blocked solid, so sorry about that.
They are blocked. There's 4 or 5 school buses stuck, and Randy was called 11 o'clock by the OPP to go plow roads. Anyway, it was a mess.
So we will move out of the.
We've got a couple more pieces. I'm just taking notes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Budget of Creative County and Tourism Sarnia Lambton, if I'm correct.
But I'll take a motion as well to confirm the membership of this striking committee.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Dave, second by Bill. All in favor? It's carried.
We're now appointing I'm just gonna.
So what are we, do we not have to nominate somebody for these boards?
We had to get caught up on the note taking there, everybody, so that's right for the delay again. And at this time, we will look to, so the first appointment is TSL, is it?
That's correct. You can appoint any member of council to TSL. Not only members of this striking committee, so it's really up to you guys. Since I heard it, I'll just report it to you. Councillor Hand had expressed an interest to TSL. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so we do have some, Councillor Hand was interested in being our TSL rep. Is there anybody that wants to move that? Bill, Councillor?
I was going to say I'm also interested in continuing on TSL. Sat there as the warden, as you will as the warden, and there's always a second member of council. Lambton Shores is quite involved with that, but
okay.
If I'm good with either way, whoever the committee wants to recommend.
Warden, if you wouldn't mind, I've also brought from our quadrant name forward. Councillor Bird wishes to serve on TSL as well.
Okay, so we have 3. How do we proceed with an election of that?
So unless there's other names, I think Councillor Ferguson's got a question.
Sorry, Councillor Ferguson, go ahead.
In our discussion with our subgroup there, my name's put forward for the TSL.
Okay, thank you.
We do not have a big entity out here, but we do have a bit of an interest.
Okay. So makes 4.
Correct. So you have Councillor Bird, Councillor Hand, Councillor Weaver, and of course Councillor Ferguson who have expressed interest. It's entirely up to this committee, the striking committee, to decide whom to appoint to that position.
I will pull my name out. I do think that there's much more tourism to the north.
Okay, so that leaves 3. How would you like to proceed? It's up to this committee to decide. I think this is a new.
So if I can say something, I understand that is there not representation from Sarnia already on the TSL?
Yes.
So my feeling is that I think the North should have a little bit more representation, and I would think that, Bill, you should be on that board.
And I'm agreeing with that one.
Okay. Show of hands. So I guess, Bill, would you accept that?
I would gladly accept that. I think, and I understand that it's something that anybody can do, but I really believe we are one of the largest contributors to the tourism industry. So I'd like to continue that representation there.
Thank you.
Yep, so I've got that moved by Councillor Bean, seconded by Councillor Ferguson, that Councillor Weaver be appointed to the TSL board for 21-22.
That was carried.
That's carried, yep.
And we're
one member from each municipal group to be appointed to the Creative County Committee for 21-22.
Okay, so the next is one member from each committee to the Creative County.
Our quadrant in the north would like Councillor Rumbouts to continue as the Creative County representative.
Okay, thank you. David?
Al Broad will put his name forward for our south quadrant.
Okay, thank you. And Ian, your
Well, either one, it doesn't matter to me. So if we're going to vote on this,
But it's for your quadrant.
is
My
for your
quadrant?
Yeah,
okay. And that includes Petrolia, right?
that's correct.
How about the mayor of Petrolia?
Okay. And Councillor White.
Thank you. I was nudged forward, so I suppose.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for volunteering. So we have our four for the Creative County.
Yep, I've got Councillor Rumbouts, Councillor Broad, Councillor Loosely, and Councillor White. And I'll suggest that it's moved by Councillor Ferguson, seconded by Councillor Veen, that those four be appointed to the Creative County Committee.
Let's see what's
Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Bean, moving and seconding that Councillor Rumbouts, Broad, Loosely, and White be on the Creative County Committee. And so just to recap what we're doing and reporting back out is that Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Weaver moved that the membership for the Striking Committee for 2021-22 be Councillor White, Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Bean, and Councillor Weaver. And their second motion was Councillor Weaver moved and Councillor White seconded that Warden Marriott be appointed as chair of this committee. It was moved by Councillor Bean, seconded by Councillor White, that Councillor Ferguson be appointed as vice chair of this striking committee. Next, it was moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Weaver that the committee AMs and PM groups, sort of the committee AM be as per the rotation. It was moved by Councillor Weaver and then seconded by Councillor Ferguson that the committee PM rotation be approved as that membership for that committee. And of course, then moved by Councillor Bean, seconded by Councillor Ferguson, that Councillor Weaver be appointed to the TSL board for 21-22. And lastly, it was moved by Councillor Ferguson, seconded by Councillor Bean, that Councillors Rumbouts, Broad, Loosely, and White be appointed to the Creative County Committee for 21-22. And if that all is in accord with what we've done, I'll just need another mover and shaker to confirm that.
okay. Moved by Councillor Ferguson, seconded by Councillor Weaver. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much.
Any other sort of discussion at this point then?
Yeah, open it up to any other discussion or anything we missed.
So just to make sure, we did switch Cook and Weaver on the 2 AM and PM. I think Doug Cook asked for that previously.
Let me just double check. Good reminder, as I will do that here as well. And we're good. Yes.
Good, thank you.
Yes, Bill.
Just, I guess a question, does the striking committee deal with the SWIFT board of directors, or do we make recommendations for that? How does that transfer? Is that something that's done through SWIFT at another time?
Yes, what we've done, we've been in communication with them. They need to know, I think, by roughly the 3rd week of January, who our appointment is to be. And what we've always done is we've waited until we've had the warden's election, and whoever the warden is, we put that name forward. And we'll typically go to committee in mid-January with the report saying we're nominating the county's practices to put the warden on the board for SWIFT. And that's typically passed at county council. We don't have to do anything different than that. So we've always had the warden in that piece as an approach, and that will be done in January next year. There'll be a report to committee and all that in the middle part of January. So we have lots of time still.
Great, thank you.
Okay, seeing nothing else, we can adjourn the striking committee. And, moved by Councillor Ferguson and second by Councillor Weaver. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much.
We'll move back to the
And we're back again. Thanks again for everybody's patience, working through all the steps here. I would ask Mr. Defoe to report on the committee reports.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. So the striking committee met a few minutes ago, and it did the following business. One, it was moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Weaver that the following be the members of the striking committee for 2021-2022. Councillor White, Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Bean, Councillor Weaver. That was carried. Second item was it was moved by Councillor Weaver, seconded by Councillor White, that Warden Marriott be appointed as chair of the striking committee. Third item of business, it was moved by Councillor Bean and seconded by Councillor White, that Councillor Ferguson be appointed as vice chair of the striking committee. Fourthly, it was moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Weaver that the committee AM membership that had been previously circulated, save and except for Councillor Weaver replacing Councillor Cook on that committee, be accepted. And then, of course, as item number 5, was moved by Councillor Weaver, seconded by Councillor Ferguson, that the committee PM membership that has been previously seconded, save and except for the swap between Councillor Weaver and Councillor Cook, be accepted, and that was carried. 6, it was moved by Councillor Bean and seconded by Councillor Ferguson that Councillor Weaver be appointed to the board of TSL for 2021-2022. 7, it was moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Bean that the following councillors be appointed to the Creative County Committee for 21-22, and that is Councillors Rombouts, Councillors Broad, Councillor Loosely, and Councillor White. That was carried. And finally, Councillors Ferguson and Councillors Weaver adopted a motion to approve all of the previous motions that I spoke to, and the committee then adjourned at 10:24 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Defoe. And at this point, we will recess for this standing committees to select chair and vice chair. First, we will do committee AF. Melissa will move us to committee to that committee that's been pre-selected.
Here's our AM committee. This time, we're open to nominations for chair of committee AM.
I'll nominate Jackie.
Okay, Jackie's been nominated. Do we have a seconder? Councilor Bird. Do we ask for more? Jackie, do you accept this?
Sure.
Unless there's any other nominations. Seeing none, all in favor that Jackie be committee AM chair, that is carried. And is there any other business for this, Stefan?
Vice Chair.
Oh yeah, vice chair, sorry. Who, any nominations for vice chair? Councilor Hand.
Margaret Bird.
Okay, Councilor Bird has been nominated. Do we have a seconder for that? Jackie? Councilor Bird, do you accept vice chair?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you very much. So that's everything we need for committee AM at this point.
We need one more that we appoint a member to the Lambton County Agricultural Advisory Committee for 21.
Okay, yes, sorry. So there is one more, and that is the, we need one appointee to the member, to be member on the County of Lambton Agriculture Advisory Committee for a one-year term. Lonnie, Councilor Napper, sorry.
Yeah, I was just looking at, there's not many ag faces on there except Jackie. There's about the only one that's really involved in the old farmer people out there. So I would, send her over there because she seems to.
Okay. Jackie, Councilor Rambos, do you accept that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. And that's,
I'll second it. Did you need a seconder?
I think that's what Councilor Weaver was
Oh, I'm
doing.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm a little slow here.
It's okay.
All in favor? All in favor of that? It's carried. And I think that concludes everything that we need for committee AM.
Just adjourn it.
And just move to adjourn. Moved by Councilor Dean, second by Councilor Bird. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. And we're back to the main room, and we'll now break into the PM committee.
I'll read out the committee AM.
Oh, before we do that, Mr. Tipo will read out the results of the committee AM.
Yes, good morning again. Committee AM met this morning a few minutes ago, addressed 3 matters and adjourned. Matter number 1, it was moved by Councilor Miller, seconded by Councilor Bird, that Councilor Rombots be nominated as chair of the committee AM. Secondly, it was moved by Councilor Hand, seconded by Councilor Rombots, that Councilor Bird be vice chair of the committee. And then it was moved by Councilor Napper, seconded by Councilor Weaver, that Councilor Rombots be appointed to the Lambton County Agricultural Advisory Committee for 2021. And then the committee adjourned at 10:29 a.m.
Thank you. So at this point, we will break into the PM committee. And first item of business is to nominate a chair for a one-year term. Do we have any nominations? Councilor Ferguson.
I would nominate Brian White.
Councilor Bradley.
Seconding it.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations? Councilor White, do you accept the nomination? That is a yes, I think.
Doesn't show you muted, Brian, but couldn't hear you. There we go.
Yes, I do, sir. Thank you.
All in favor of that? It's carried. Second item of business is to nominate a vice chair for a one-year term. Councillor White.
I nominate Councillor Stark.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Bradley seconds that. Councillor Stark, do you accept that?
I do.
Thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Next is the appointment to the County of Lambton Accessibility Advisory Committee. Do we have any volunteers or nominations? Councillor Cook.
Yes, I'm the current rep on the accessibility committee, and I'd be willing to stay on.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Bradley.
Supporting Councillor Cook's nomination to the committee.
Okay, seconded. All in, Councillor White. Okay, all in favor? It's carried. And the next one, appointment is to the Adult Enrichment Center AEC Advisory Committee. Do we have any nominations or volunteers? Councillor Han first. You're muted.
Sorry. I'm currently on that one. I don't mind staying on it, but if there's somebody that wants it, I appreciate that. They meet once a month, and we haven't been meeting lately because the program is not operating.
Okay. Councillor Bradley, did you have your hand up?
No, I guess the general question is there a need for a councillor on that committee? But if Councillor Hand's willing to do it, or Deputy Warden Hand's willing to do it, that's fine. Sometimes we get into these, I know in the city we've gone through this about, we just keep appointing and then say, well, someone says, well, is there value for them and for us? So if you think there's value, then happy to nominate Deputy Warden Hand for that position.
Okay, Mr. Tifo has confirmed that we should have a representation. So Councillor Stark, did you have a comment?
Simply to nominate Deputy Warden Hand to that position, and I did note that she actually issued a report out of that committee from last year, so I do think there is value in having her.
Okay, all in favor of the Deputy Warden, that's carried. Thank you, Deputy Warden Hand. And the next one is appointments to the Audit Committee. We need 4 members in addition to the Warden to the Audit Committee for a one-year term. Do we have any volunteers first or nominations? Councilor Ferguson.
I would nominate Doug Cook, but I also was on last year too.
Okay, so that's 2 nominations then, Doug Cook and.
Somebody has to nominate me.
Okay, yes.
I'll nominate Councillor Ferguson.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cook and Councillor Han, or Deputy Warden Hand. Unmute, please.
I nominate Councillor Stark.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that?
Oh.
Okay, Councillor White, and any other nominations?
Councillor Loosely.
Okay, Councillor Loosely nominated by Councillor Cook. Got a seconder for that? Councillor Ferguson. And any other nominations?
Nope, you've got 4 now.
That is 4 now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that is 4, sorry. Losing count here.
We got 4.
So motion to accept the 4 nominees, which are?
Councillor Cook, Councillor Stark, Councillor Lucy, Councillor Ferguson.
Okay, moved by, who would like to move that? Councillor Arnold, second by Councillor White. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So, yeah, so motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Councillor Loosely, seconded by Councillor Stark. All in favor?
That's carried. Thank you very much. We'll move back into the main meeting now. Again, everybody, for the other half that for their patience while PM committee, I will ask Mr. Tifo's report for the results of PM committee.
Yes, good morning again. Committee PM met momentarily a few minutes ago and addressed 5 items of business. Number 1, Councillor Ferguson moved, which was seconded by Councillor Bradley, that Councillor White be the chair of Committee PM. Secondly, Councillor White moved, seconded by Councillor Bradley, that Councillor Stark be the vice chair of the committee for 2021. Then it was moved by Councillor Bradley and seconded by Councillor White that Councillor Cook be appointed as chair of the County of Lambton Accessibility Advisory Committee for 2021. Fourthly, it was moved by Councillor Bradley, seconded by Councillor Stark, that Councillor Hand be appointed to the County of Lambton Adult Enrichment Center Advisory Committee for 2021-2022. And lastly, prior to adjourning, Councillor Arnold moved and Councillor White seconded that the following 4 councillors be appointed to the Audit Committee in addition to the Warden for 2021. And those councillors are Councillor Cook, Councillor Stark, Councillor Loosley, Councillor Ferguson, and that was carried. And at 10:36 a.m., the committee PM adjourned. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 21. Reports requiring a motion. So first and only one is a report dated December 2nd, 2020 regarding the Enbridge Line 5 continued support. Moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Stark. Any comments? Councillor Arnold, please.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. Just a couple things. St. Clair Township, we as well have a letter that's been sent to Governor Whitmer, and we've done it a couple of times already, and we're going to, and we've done that again. I think the most important thing with that, this whole Line 5 and the cement corridor, is that I believe there's 26 crossings that'll be put into that concrete corridor as well. It's not just Line 5. And so it really is a good thing for that UP and then the mitten through Michigan. So, you know, I'm very strongly support what we're doing here to lend our support to keep that line open and to keep that project moving forward. It's very important for all of us.
Thank you for that. Any other comments before I call the question? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. And number 22 is notice of bylaws. I'll ask Mr. Tifo.
Yes, good morning again. It's moved by Councillor Bird, seconded by Councillor Broad, that bylaws 36 and 37, 2020 as circulated be taken as read a third and final time.
So moved by, all in favor of that? It's carried.
Thank you. And I meant to say the first and second time, but now it's moved by Councillor Broad and seconded by Councillor Bird. Bylaws 36 and 37, 2020 as circulated be taken as read a third and final time.
All in favor of that? It's carried. Thank you. And that takes us to 23, adjournment, unless there's something else. Councillor Napper. Please unmute.
I'd love to adjourn this historic moment.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor Napper. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Weber, thank you. All in favor of adjournment? That's carried. Thank you.
All the best for the holiday season. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, happy Christmas to all. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Take
Stay
care.
there.
Yep.